So we have a couple of things we're going to do before I take these back to town and mix them with other bees. We're going to take a sample and send them to the state entomology department. They're going to test them, first of all, to make sure they're not Africanized. We're this close to them here already and we haven't had any problems, so I doubt they are, but we'll test them for sure. And they'll also test the genetics and tell us what variety they are. So that'll be helpful. Also, we're going to do a sugar roll or a sugar shake before we take them near any other population of bees. That'll tell us if they have varroa mites. I am expecting they won't, but we will test it and then we'll know for sure. Next thing we do before we take these bees back to town is we take a sample so we can send these bees to the bee lab to test and see what variety they are. We're pretty sure they're not Africanized. We've tested bees nearby here before, but we need to know for sure. So these will be sent to our agriculture department and also the bee lab at the University of Arkansas. They'll tell us what variety of bees these are.
Right up on the hill.
We need about 100 bees for the sample.
I was trying to think of a special...
And they test the DNA?
They'll test the DNA. Yep, there's a couple of ways of testing bees. One, you can look at the vein pattern in the wings, and that'll tell you if they're Africanized or not. And then to be sure what variety they are, you can test the genetics.
How will you know when you have 100?
I'm just guessing. We don't need exactly 100. All right, so I've got about 100 bees in the sample. They'll send 50 of those to one lab, 50 to another, and then we'll get back a report sometime and we'll know what variety of bees these are. That'll give us some idea of where they came from, maybe, what period of time these bees were commercially available in the United States. And so we'll at least have a record of what variety these are for now. This feral colony has been here for a long time. We're going to take half a cup of bees, which is about 300 individual bees, and we're going to do a mite test. I want to see if there's any mites in these bees before we take them to town, right? They're healthy now, and we're going to check the mite levels if there are any. I'm specifically talking about varroa mites.
Yeah, sit still, you guys.
Hold still, bees. Sometimes you just squirt them a little and they'll calm down a bit.
Oh, they're trying to get away from the rain, like, right?
Yeah, they want to get out of that. Well, it makes their wings wet, so they can't fly. It'll,
So they settle.
yeah.
What he's doing now, this test, is you can test for mites in several ways, but this way it doesn't kill the bees. We just roll them around in a little powdered sugar and then we give them back to the hive. There's other ways with alcohol and things that do kill the bees, but we prefer this non-lethal way.
I'm going to put my gloves on. They're getting a little annoyed at me.
They're probably regrouping after yesterday.
Yeah, they were really nice there yesterday. Okay, now we shake the sugar out of there.
Shake the sugar.
So it won't hurt the bees, but they'll stay in there.
And what are we looking for?
Oh, we're looking for mites, and there is one.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that. There's a varroa mite right there.
So it's infected?
No, but it means that they've been living with mites for 20 years without dying, and that's great because it means that they're resistant.
What's the smaller stuff?
Just a one
There's
or two.
two. Two
That's
mites,
not
you see
bad.
them? Oh, yeah.
But they're surviving though.
Is it not? Okay, so these two, touch where the mites are, Stan.
Okay, there's one right there and one right there.
What about this one right here?
That's not a mite, that's too small, yep. It's the little
The ones that are
oval-shaped,
moving?
shiny one. Yeah, can you see them moving a little
Yeah.
bit? Yep.
Oh, they're moving around?
Except for the ant.
Well, this is good news and it's bad news. One is that we know the wild population here is infested with mites, but we know they're surviving with mites. So that's two out of 300 sample. So, okay, that looks like it. So 2 mites. We know they have varroa mites in Minot Valley. This is a good thing. Let's look at it that way. We know that bees can survive with mites, no problem. So these bees have been here for years and years, untreated, and surviving on their own, doing just fine. So if we can duplicate that, we can save ourselves a lot of trouble and expense and still have healthy bees. So the bees have got powdered sugar all over them, but they'll be all right. So if you'll see the bees there I dumped back into the hive, they'll clean each other up, and so no harm done there. They'll be all right. Graft those eggs, the young larvae, and make a whole bunch of queens.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah. And so then what we do is we bring down...
Then you're the king.
Yeah.
Hey.
The king bee. We let those new queens, those virgin queens, mate with the wild drones around here, so we still have a purebred bee.
Right.
So that's what I like to do. We like to bring some more bees down,
Bring them
but
back again.
we're not bringing in any other disease. You know, we're bringing that same queen, same genetics, same gene pool down, and then we could use those for hardier bees. You know. So instead of somebody like at the high school brings in some bees and they just die. Well, if we have local bees, they're going to be more likely to stay alive. So then we can get you set up with some bees that can get through the winter. They can forage on the plants that are here in the desert. They're acclimated, so they're going to have a lot better chance of surviving here. And so we've learned running a beekeeping company, that people will buy packaged bees and they won't be able to get them through the winter. Sometimes it's their fault, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just the bees, We just need tougher bees that can make it through. So that's the objective.
So they're already immune to the
Yes.
area and
Yep.
they can survive definitely.
That's the idea.
Once the larvae
That's
are-
cool.